Hi guys, Dr. Sagar Abhichandani here, and today we talk about how to improve patient experience in our practice. We cannot question the importance of patient experience and satisfaction. Still, most medical practices are trying to tackle how to improve patient services and subsequently patient satisfaction. There is no perfect strategy to achieve 100% patient satisfaction. Every medical practice has a unique patient base with different expectations. However, when followed, there are a few best practices that can help improve the patient satisfaction regardless of your specialty or the kind of masses or the classes you treat. Personalize the patient experience. One of the best ways to personalize the patient experience is using the patient's name when talking and communicating with them, either in person or through emails or over the phone. A patient friendly approach that doesn't feel forced will help humanize patient provider interactions. When the patient visits your practice for the first time, make it a point to reach out with personalized feedback, asking them about their experience at your practice. Ensure fast, convenient patient support. When patient encounters a problem with your services or has a question about their health, they expect you to be available and respond promptly to their messages. Think about it. Spending half an hour dealing with your front office staff can seriously harm patient satisfaction levels. In fact, most patients will want you to offer them excellent patient support to value their time. Important, right? Ensure your employees' satisfaction. In all this rush for happy and satisfied patients, don't forget about your employees who leave no stone unturned to ensure a pleasant patient experience. If your employees are satisfied with what they do, they will show even more love towards your patients. So while you are keeping an eye on offering the best quality service to your patients, take care of people who help you achieve these goals as well. Give estimates on the waiting time. By simply telling your customers how long they will likely have to wait, you give them little information and show that you appreciate and respect their time. Usually giving time estimates within 5 minutes block, as in 15 to 20 minutes, should do and will give them an expectation and help them reduce the impatience in the waiting room. Sit down when you meet with patients. There are actually a few studies that suggest sitting as opposed to standing is better for patient satisfaction when you communicate with the patient. Sitting instead of standing at a patient's chair side or across the table can have a significant impact on patient satisfaction. Keep your patient informed and educated. If you spend a little more time with patients, educating them on their conditions and specific situation, you will not only have knowledgeable patients, you will have better satisfaction rates. Informing patients can also include written documents which allow the patients to see the organized information that they can refer at a later date. Make eye contact, especially in the first 2 minutes. There are a lot of tasks involved in providing medical care of any type. You need to update charts, respond to messages, look for specific information, but if you simply stop and give your full attention to the patients with complete eye contact, at least during the first 2 minutes of your visit, you will show that you are fully dedicated to their health. Even a short, uninterrupted, locked-in conversation is better than a long conversation with a distracted doctor or an assistant. Silence is a good decision-making tool. In sales, there's a technique where you are told that after a sales pitch has been made, the first person to talk loses. Once you made your pitch, there might be an awkward silence. But during that silence, the other person is really forced to think about the offer which you have made. In healthcare, you are generally not selling services or products, but you are often asking a patient to weigh the risks and benefits of a certain treatment or procedure. Remember, doing nothing at all is also a choice. When you have posed the decision, resist jumping in it immediately if the patient is contemplating to provide more justification. Let them think. Then, once they speak, if they are asking questions, you will be getting to know their sources of worries and hesitation. Warm hands, warm heart. This one might seem a little silly, but keep your hands warm. Shaking hands with patients is often your first time meeting them or meeting them again after you haven't seen them in a while. First impressions are important, and studies have shown that people tend to interpret warm handshakes as friendlier and more open than cold-handed folk. If you are like the many who always have cold hands because of poor circulation, by sticking your hands in your pocket as you're walking up to meet a patient or rubbing them together to warm them up. Be on their side, literally. If you are in an interaction with a patient when they are frustrated, angry, and even aggressive, resist the temptation to stand or sit directly in front of them. This is a competitive stance that implies you are trying with your body anyway to corner or intimidate the person. If you can, that is, it is safe to do so, you aren't attempting to restrain them, stand to the side of them or sit next to them. Those wheelie stools in the hospitals or clinics and doctors' offices are great for changing your tactic or position in a heartbeat. Rephrase and repeat. This is also a great thing to ask your patients to do. When a patient has made what seems to be an important point to them and it's your turn to respond, start by rephrasing what they said in your own words and ask them if you have understood it correctly. By being an active listener, you can make certain that you are not misunderstanding a patient. Likewise, when you have told them something important, like a treatment expectation or diagnosis, ask them to repeat it back to you in their own words and use their explanation to identify areas that they might not have understood. No misunderstanding in any given circumstances. Offer choices. Anyone who has young children already knows this hack and probably uses it on a regular basis. Instead of making a request that's too open-ended and leaving the person open to flat out refuse, offer choices. Not only do choices require a person to take some action, but they feel empowered since they have chosen what action to take. It is a classical example of asking a kid if they want a peanut butter and jelly or a turkey sandwich for lunch, instead of the open-ended question, what do you want for lunch? Which might bring about the dreaded, I don't know, I don't care response. When possible, employ this tactic with all your patients and not just with kids. So, my dear friends, as much as it's important to offer the best of services to your knowledge and skills, it's equally important that the patient experience and satisfaction also is the best, to say the least. Hope these insights and inputs will help you achieve what you want to achieve. Dr. Sagar Abhichandani signing off. See you on the other side. Take care.